What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Kosko. We're in part 3 now of our interview series for the Jersey Flight. I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, and we have two special guests today. We have quarterback Warren Smith and wide receiver Brandon Renford joining me this week. Fellas, how are you? How's everybody doing? How are the families? How are you guys doing? And this, obviously, this is a crazy time in our country right now with this pandemic going on.
Yeah, man, I'm doing well, man. It's just trying to get used to this quarantine because I'm still in school, switch majors and film study, and just buckling down on myself, trying to find new values in life.
Yeah, I mean, like just to piggyback what Brandon's saying, it's been a crazy month, especially for us teachers here. You know, used to going to school every single day, so now we've been teaching at home in the mornings, and basically hunkering down at the house, hanging out with family and close ones, and just trying to fight through this thing together, so eventually we can get back on the field and everything can get back to normal.
Warren, I'll start with you, man. I mean, obviously, you're a teacher. You teach over at Lacey Township High School right here in New Jersey. What's been the biggest challenge for you, knowing that, obviously, that's a huge adjustment, knowing that you have to teach from home? I mean, you're a very hands-on guy. You're a coach, too, when you're not playing. I mean, what's that been like for you, to basically teaching and coaching from home?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's starting with the high school kids. It's like, I'm teaching every day, and then after school, we're getting the football team ready, and now – we don't have any weight room. We're not allowed to go to the gym. So it's been hard just trying to get the kids to do stuff at home, and you really can't hold them accountable because you really can't see them. So we're just trying to do our best and make some home workouts for the kids. But I mean, teaching from home is pretty simple. I got a computer, and I do a lot of emailing and stuff, and it's actually, it's pretty nice. I get a lot of free time to myself, work out at the house, but I miss just going to school every day and just doing my normal everyday activities. So, just a little bit of adjusting, but, we're getting there. We're getting through it, staying in shape, throwing the ball 2 or 3 times a week still, and, just spending more time at home.
Brandon, what's it been like for you? Obviously, you just said you're still a student, so you're still studying, obviously, in school, and you're studying the film and all the other game plans for Jersey this season. What's it been like for you with the adjustments?
Man, I just honestly, I told you, just different values, learning myself differently, because you guys Warren when we played together, I'm always on a go, like go. So for me, the transition of sitting back and realizing how important it is to just let your body relax, like from training and school and training kids. And, I have a son, he's 2 years old, and stepdaughter. So it's like the transition for me, it was difficult the first 2 weeks, but now I actually enjoy it. I like the distancing. Like, it makes me understand the value of family time and me time. And my brain can actually develop what I'm studying, because usually when you study, you got to go to work. You got to do this. You got to do this. But now when I study, I feel like everything is processing differently. So it's just, I'm learning myself differently. So I enjoy it.
It's good to see the positive outlooks from both of you. Warren, I'll go back to you with this. Obviously, you played for Atlantic City last year. We'll get into the little bit more football here. You played for Atlantic City last year in the AFL. AFL obviously has since been, obviously the league folded again. But obviously, you're still in the prime of your football career. I mean, you're a teacher, you're a coach as well, so you have a lot of intricacies in the game. But as far as continuing to play indoor football, Jersey is the most local team for you. Was that your biggest deciding factor when deciding where and when to play again?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, since I've been full-time teaching the last 4 years, I've been trying to stay closer to home and trying to see what teams can work with my schedule. So every year, I talk to the coach, we find out the practice schedule, then I'll talk to my administration, and we work out some sort of schedule where I can maybe get the practice, miss a day here, miss a day there. But yeah, I mean, it's always the most local team is probably going to be the team that I have to play for unless I stop teaching, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. So, with Atlantic City last year was really convenient. 2 years before that, the closest one was really DC and Philadelphia and Baltimore. And Philadelphia and Baltimore, they had their quarterback. So Washington DC was my closest one. So that was kind of a hike, taking a 3-hour ride to practice once or twice a week. But I'm thankful for the Jersey flight being around, and Atlantic City being around last year, because it just makes my life a little bit easier. With all the hectic teaching, coaching, and then playing on top and staying on top of your workout regimen and staying on top of film and stuff like that. So you only get 24 hours in a day, so you got to slice it up, the right way.
Brandon, what about you? I mean, what were your biggest deciding factors in signing with Jersey? I mean, do you have the same things with Warren? I mean, do you want to stay local, or you kind of just look for the best opportunity and you kind of just pick up and move? And obviously, again, you're still in school, so you're still studying, and you're going to move on to the next steps of your career post football as well. But what was your biggest deciding factor in choosing Jersey this year?
Honestly, my family, because I'm married, I have kids. So, with me being, I'm not from Lehigh Valley, but I played for the Steelhawks for a number amount of years. Jersey is like home. It's an hour drive from me. Warren, he took the drive up here when he played with us as well. So for me, that was a big factor. It's like home, like an hour drive. I can do that, 3-4 times a week. And plus the deciding factor was also just, the coaches, how they presented the team, and they presented it more of a family base. And, with being with like the Philadelphia Soul, the Cleveland Gladiators through my years, and Albany, as you saw, those teams are very good teams. And then being with the Steelhawks with Warren, it was just family based. So I think the way Coach Foster brings it and presents it to the community, it's very transparent that he's authentic. So that was a deciding factor for me as well, just the local vicinity.
Just to give a little more background on you two, you both played together with the Lehigh Valley Steelhawks a couple years ago. Warren, you could start here. I mean, dive into your relationship with Brandon a little bit more, and obviously this could be a good rapport during the season. Should you two be finding each other to hook up during games this year, and obviously it helps out on the practice field as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, before I even played with Brandon, I played against him multiple times when he was with Lehigh, and I was bouncing around when I was in Richmond when I first started, and Trenton. So I always knew Brandon, brought his game to arena football, and he'll tell you about his background, but he really didn't even play high school football. He was more, you didn't play college football?
I didn't play college.
You didn't play college, right? So he didn't have a college background, but he can run. He can return kicks. He can take the motion. He can, be a stationary guy. So, and he was tough, and he can fight through press, which he's shown plenty of times. He brought a lot of kick returns back for Lehigh with me and against me. So he does a lot. He brings a lot of good things to the table. And he's seen the game. He's seen every coverage that you could probably go against. So just having Brandon and guys like Warren Oliver, who I've also played with, and Milton Williams, all those guys, they're a veteran-based group. So when we get into installing plays and understanding concepts, we all have the same terminology. We all understand each other, and that puts us ahead of the eight ball, so sort of say. So again, I'm excited just to get to work with these guys again, and and that's really about it. But Brandon, he's fast, can catch, all that good stuff. So that's, as a receiver, you need that, and with the return game big in this, that's what separates himself.
Brandon, what's it been like for you knowing that you're going to get to work with Warren and some other familiar faces again this year with the Jersey flight?
Man, just with, the veteranship with this team alone. But with Warren, he brings an element of, you could say he's like the arena Peyton Manning in my eyes. Like he's big on film. He's big on depth, concepts, and understanding the depths. And I say depths a lot because he'll tell you, just get to the depth. And with me not playing college, like he, just said, I was raw, and it took for me to go to the Philadelphia Soul with Dozell to break down depth. And then when I got Warren with the Steelhawks, it was more of he's a on-field coach all the time. So it would be times in the game where he would be like, Brandon, I know we got this, but trust me, I saw it on film, do this, and boom, you'll see touchdown. With me, Prince, Oliver, whoever was in the lineup. It's just Warren knows his depth, and it was very rare he messed up. And if he did, it might have been our fault, but he took the rap for it. He's the quarterback, but we appreciate him for that. Honestly, man, I played with a lot of good quarterbacks. Warren is probably my number one quarterback right now, and I'm just happy to play with him again, and hopefully we can win. We should have won when we played, 16? We should have won it. So,
17, yeah, we just came a little short, man. That's all. But
thinking about it.
Yeah, we're gonna make that next step. They're gonna make that next step this year.
So yeah, man, it's just delightful, man. It's reassuring to know that I have the captain of the ship knows the game, and I can actually play without teaching as much. So it's a blessing, man, and I enjoy it. And we still have veteran receivers. We got Spider, Warren, Milton, a few other guys that he signed. I think Emery. These are guys that played A1. So we have a good core receivers and quarterbacks coming in. So
and we all played together too. So then that's the thing. We all played together at some certain level, whether it was me with Spider in DC and Trenton, me with Brandon and Lehigh, Warren Oliver in Lehigh. So it's good. And Emery with the Yellow Jackets. And I played against Milton a couple times. So it's just good when you've played with someone before, and like again, they understand what you're thinking. I'm understanding what they're thinking, so we're just a little bit quicker. We're a little quicker understanding each other.
Brandon, one of the bounce back was obviously you didn't play college football. You were a high school football star. Man, what did you do post high school in terms of college athletics, if you did any, and what geared you back towards football, specifically the indoor game?
I was a track star and basketball guy. I had Texas and University of Buffalo really recruit me for track. I was a 100-meter and long jumper. And, I ran a 10.8, 10.7 in high school. I was long jumping like 23, 24. So I had, top Division I, like colleges looking at me. I committed to University of Buffalo my first semester, and they wanted me to play football and run track, so it messed up my scholarship. So I resorted going to community college and ended up playing basketball. And I didn't start my first few games, and I started point guard, and I went to culinary, got my culinary associate. So I did that, and after that, I was like, well, what I want to do? I don't want to cook. I was 22, so I was thinking like, well, maybe I can play football again. So they had arena tryouts out in Buffalo, New York, because I'm from Niagara Falls, New York, upstate. If people don't know. Man, I ran a 4.5, I think. I think it was like 3-4 years out of high school, at receiver. And I played DB my whole, career in high school. I was all state at corner and returner. And the coach was Coach Ponder for Fairbanks Grizzlies and the Seattle Timberwolves. And he coached, I think, Kendrick Eanes as well at a couple other teams. But long story short, I ended up running a 4.42 after a month of having a tryout, and he moved me from DB to wide receiver. And ever since then, I've just been in the arena. It's been about 9 years. So
that's why we do hear about that. There are plenty of guys in the indoor game that actually don't end up playing college football, but they get back into it, and all of a sudden they find it in the indoor game. And this is a question to both of you. Warren, you can start out with this one. Well, what makes the indoor game so unique? I mean, obviously, I saw you on display firsthand last year with the Blackjacks, knowing that obviously, even when you told me how you broke down film last year, what makes the indoor game so unique compared to the outdoor game? And obviously, it's a lot faster for the fans out there. And for those who don't know, smaller field, it's high scoring, and it's pretty much all passing.
Yeah, no, it's to me, it's normal. That's indoor football is normal football for me now because I've been playing it for so long. But it's the way I always explain to somebody, it's you're wearing the same pads as you're wearing the same equipment, but it's a different strategy. It's almost like a different sport. And it has a basketball, hockey, soccer feel to it, and obviously throwing and catching is the football part of it. And you got to execute, but it's 8-on-8. It's fast paced, like you said. The ball has to be out. Like some of the fundamentals that you teach in the outdoor game don't really translate to the indoor game, where you find yourself at the quarterback position, especially like, disregarding your fundamentals, whether it's throwing off your back foot or, fading away when you throw, or not taking as deep as a 5-step, because if you get too deep, the defensive ends can come around and there's not a true pocket. So, there's that transition, which when I train now, it's just, I train for arena football. But it's a great game. The reason I love it so much is because, obviously the scoring, the fast pace, and I just love how, the fans are so close to you. It's very family oriented. You're talking to the fans, whereas in the outdoor game, you really don't get to talk to your fans or until after the game or before the game. So there's a lot of dialogue between the player and the fan during the game, and they're on top of you. It has that basketball type feeling to it. But it's awesome, and I've just been so used to playing arena football now. When I go to the outdoor game and start coaching it, like I'm throwing the ball around, I'm like, man, I can't make that throw anymore. That field's so big. So, but no, it's great. I love the adjustment from outdoor to arena, and it just makes you, as a quarterback, it makes you think faster. make quicker decision and tighter windows to squeeze the ball in. And, so I think as a quarterback, if you can do that, that's pretty impressive.
And speaking of the tight windows, Brandon, obviously as a wide receiver, pretty much all wide receivers are predicated on the speed in this game. There are still some big boys who will go up and go get it. Like Warren said, you equate it to basketball. Just go up and get the ball in the end zone. But for you, you're more of a speedster guy. So especially if you get put in motion before the snap, I mean, tell me the differences of playing at wide receiver. I know you played defensive back in high school, but tell me the difference between wide receiver in the indoor game compared to the outdoor game, because you actually do get that running start. Plus, you have, like Warren said, there's a lot of tight windows that even receivers have to get used to as well.
I think it's really just preparation. You have to prepare for something in order to succeed. I'm not gonna lie to you. My first few years in the arena, man, it was hard for me to understand the concepts like now, because outdoor it's now, but it's a 3 to 4 seconds now, opposed to 1 second now. You turn your head on a hitch, or a screen now. In indoor, he can just shovel the ball. Like, it's little things like that, and the concepts are different. Like, they still can run man or zone or too high or too low, however they want to do it. But the windows, like Warren just said, is so much tighter that you have to have a crisp route and you have to be fast. You got to get your eyes around it. You got to have quick hands. You got to have strong hands, and you got to be very physical. I mean, outdoor, like we watch the NFL, these guys are big guys, but there's some guys that can't translate playing in the arena or vice versa. So like Warren just said, you put your pads on the same, but you training your mind and your body to play a whole different football. Smaller field, faster, tighter windows. And I feel like for me, with the DBs, it's just a lot of film study too. Like, when to break, where to break at, how to break. Is it, 1 step, 2 step, or 3 step, or is it just a speed turn? But that's just, again, with preparation with your quarterback, with the coaches, and, and with your other teammates. So it's just practice, man, honestly.
Yeah, and receivers, they got to get used to the wall. There's a lot of that first year or two, some receivers have never seen a wall before, and they always say the wall's undefeated. So you got to get used to catching the ball and running into the wall and stuff like that too. And there's a lot of big time receivers I've played with that come into the game right away, and that as a quarterback, you're told to throw the ball to the wall, and the receiver is expected to catch it and bounce off the wall, and then they're running, they see the wall and they slow down. And, that's part of the game where, you got to train yourself. Obviously it's not going to hurt, but it might hurt a little bit. So I think the wall is for receivers might be one of the biggest adjustments you got to make, just because you got to be fearless. You got to be fearless, basically. Like, I've seen Brandon go over the wall multiple times for myself, just catching the football for a touchdown or something like that. So the wall is critical.
And just talking about guys going over the wall real quick, I believe it was Warren. You might remember this from the game last year against Baltimore. You might remember when Milton Williams, I believe, he went flying over the boards when Baltimore came to Atlantic City last year, and I'm sure he's going to hear about that once you guys start practice.
Oh yeah,
hopefully soon. So he knows about it too. He just goes flying over the wall, and that's what receivers have to do, as you just pointed out. So we're sticking with football a little bit, but obviously with the quarantine and the obviously the pandemic going on, everyone is quarantined to their houses. The gyms aren't open. Usually, if you go out to a football field, you're out there by yourself, basically, or and more in your case, maybe you're throwing to guys with gloves and masks on, or you're throwing through a tire. But I want from you both, what do you think what's been the most unique workout you guys have done so far during this quarantine with no gyms, really no equipment, just trying to make things up on the fly?
Well, mine's been actually kind of funny. I've just been like, because I'm used to using weights and doing Olympic and explosive lifts, which I really haven't had the access to do that. So I do a lot of body weight workout and bands workouts, but I actually go to a local hockey rink in town, because when you go to a hockey rink, it's kind of almost the same dimensions of an arena field. Like width-wise, and they have hash marks actually on a hockey rink, which correlate to the to the arena football field. So I'll do my workout in there, I'll do my running in there, and then I'll usually get one of my past alumni students to come catch for me, and I just throw my route tree in the hockey rink, and we keep our social distancing, we keep it 6 feet away at least. We're not throwing a ball anything shorter than that. So So yeah, just doing like body weight workout, band workouts, still running, your plyometrics, your calisthenics, just doing all that stuff. A lot of stretching, and then just throwing in the hockey rink. That's what I've been doing.
But Brandon, what about you? Obviously, you're a pass catcher still, unless you have a jugs
Yeah.
machine handy. I mean,
Well,
maybe you're throwing the ball to yourself.
well, no. There's a lot of football drills we can do, like just laying down, throwing it up, just catching it in different variations. I have my wife throw to me. I mean, she's not the best, but hey, you got to catch bad footballs or good footballs. So I think it's just me again, just transitioning from being spoiled to now we got to go back into our bag of tricks. So I wear a weighted vest sometimes, and I do box jumps on my counter. I run up my back stairs on my weighted vest. I wear ankle weights. I do a lot of speed work. Like he just said, a lot of band work, push-ups, calisthenics. I run a lot of hills though, and I run stairs because that's where speed comes in. I'm just trying to stay as much in shape as possible because nothing is like game shape, but at least I'm in shape. So I'm a workoutaholic, man. Like Warren knows, I love working out. There's times they got to tell me, all right, Renford, slow down, relax. Like we got a game. Like pre-game, I'm running full routes. Warren telling me to just settle down. Like I've always been 100-mile-per-hour guy. So this for me is teaching me discipline, self-discipline, patience. So my workout regimen definitely switched up immensely. So I think it's okay.
I've also put some weights in a book bag before, and then I was doing squats and push-ups with the weighted book bag. I saw it on. I filled my book bag. I filled my school book bag up with all my computers and water bottles, and it came out to like almost 35 pounds. So I was squatting with 35 pounds.
Hey, maybe I'll find a old book bag out in the closet. And I'll start putting some weights in there as well. I'll leave you here both with this one as well. Warren, we'll start with you. Knowing that the team that you guys have on paper, the quarterback room with you and Danny is a veteran heavy quarterback room as well. A lot of film study. You guys have been around the game for a long time. What does this team have on paper? Again, the practice field has not been hit yet. The games haven't started yet. As long as the season occurs later this summer, which the NAL did announce that the season is aiming to resume, or I should say start by June 13th. Just on paper, what you guys have, how you guys have talked with your teammates and Coach Foster as well. What does this team have on paper? And think it's probably a championship caliber team on paper, at least for this league.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, especially with the AFL folding, each team has a luxury of a couple guys coming from the Arena League down to the NAL, which now to me the NAL is the AFL. That's my opinion. We got a lot of guys on paper, like you said, that have a lot of experience in this league. But like every year in football, there's you got to start with a foundation. You got to go to camp. You got to find your identity. I think in arena football with the shortened camp compared to an outdoor game, I think teams that are successful find their identity early, and then they build off that identity. And it's just like any other football. You got to play offense, you got to play defense, you got to play special teams. And we can have all the great names on paper all you want, but if we don't show up one day on offense, and if our defense don't show up, or we struggle on special teams, that stuff adds up. So it's all like I said, start from the ground up. We got to build a foundation. We got to form an identity. We got to be disciplined. And then once we get all that stuff squared away, then we'll let our natural talent, which obviously, like we said, on paper looks pretty good. We let that take over from there, and then that's how you separate yourself.
Brandon, what's your opinion on these guys? I mean, you've played with a lot of these guys before in the past already, and obviously you know these guys from in and out of the different leagues throughout the country. What's been your take on this Jersey Flight football team heading into 2020?
Well, on paper, I would say we have a pretty stacked team. Offensively, defensively, he probably haven't even put out most of the guys, Coach Foster, but offensively, I mean, as a receiver core, offensive line with our two quarterbacks, even with Chris Barrett being, the backup of these guys, man, like I see something promising there. But like he just said, we have to find our identity. We have to grow as a team. We have to become one. Once we become one, like Warren just said again, our natural ability to come out, and then I think we'll be unstoppable with the receivers, with the quarterbacks, with Danny, Coach Foster, with Coach Payton, offensive mindset, man. I think we got something special here, man. I just can't wait. Like, I'm so eager.
Well, hopefully the season kicks off on time due to the new start date, obviously due to the coronavirus on June 13th. So we'll see if that happens as well. But until then, boys, I appreciate you guys joining me here this evening. Stay safe as always. Ready to talk to you again, and hopefully we'll talk to you again down the line soon. And hopefully we're back in the arena, getting ready for training camp and for that season opening game, hopefully in mid-June.
Absolutely, man. Hey,
Yes,
Nick,
sir.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate you.
You boys got Warren, Brandon, appreciate you as always. Thanks to Ari and Josh for putting the show together as well. That'll do it. We'll be back with our part 4 of our interview series either later this week or next week. So keep it locked here for the Jersey Flight interview series.
All right, man. You have a safe one.